watching UmbrellaTV, and today it is my pleasure to be speaking to Jason Pierce of Spiritualized, who's in Toronto tonight for a sold-out show at the Opera House. How you doing, Jason?
I'm good, always good.
So first I wanted to talk about, this is your second tour of North America in support of Let It Come Down, your fourth record as Spiritualized. The first time around you were playing slightly larger venues. You had a 13-piece band with brass. Now you've stripped down, so to speak, back to sort of
scaled down,
which is everyone is talking about. But back to, I imagine, how you've spent a lot of the years touring as a sextet, 6 people. How's this tour going? You're actually playing smaller venues than the last time around.
Yeah, we're 7 this time, but it's kind of not scaled down. It's just
scaled up.
Well, it's kind of weird with music because people think that the more people you add to the mix, the bigger the music gets, and what happens is the component parts get smaller.
Right.
So it's not the volume of sound is the same. You know, the hole that you've got to fill is exactly the same, and it's kind of it's made the smaller number of components bigger and more of a feature, and it's kind of allowed a lot more freedom within those instruments as well. So it's a different take on the whole thing. It's got way more electric and a lot more guitar driven, just
right.
because the sort of space within it allows for that.
Apparently had over 100 musicians on Let It Come Down, but I actually find it's less busy, or there's more space in this record than just on the way here I was listening to Pure Phase, which I mean is a great record, but there's more going on there, even though it's perhaps less people involved.
We heard 200 bars at a radio show the other day, and it's the same kind of thing. It's not pursuing in pursuit of a larger sound, because I think the sound of even Pure Phase, in that it's just a tone, has a kind of volume to it that overwhelms under certain circumstances. So it's myself. It's working outside of my expectations and of what I'm able to do. And the "my" is so important in that sentence, because I think a lot of people think that the records are going to be way beyond their wildest dreams, their expectations of what Spiritualized can do, and it's you can't cater for people in that way.
You obviously have to work within a means and a budget to make a record, and it must be a consideration.
I think that it's always aimed well outside. It's. I think I said when we made the first album, Lazy Guided Melodies, that I wanted to make Electric Ladyland for £3,000, and it's not that I ever thought that I would achieve Electric Ladyland or anything of that kind of magnitude, but I think if you're over ambitious, then even if you achieve half of that, then you're way beyond
the average.
Then if you say, well, we know we can do this, we know all the ways to move to make this, and I say it every time, but I could make another 10 albums like Let It Come Down and another 10 like Ladies and Gentlemen, but it's so unfulfilling to do that and to make music in that way. It's got to be well outside of experience, otherwise you're not making any new ground, and you're not taking it any further.
So do you think then maybe intentionally you create like these crazy goals, like for yourself?
I think you have to. I think it's the only way to achieve something that to make something that will astound myself, and something that you feel you've gotten further along with it, that you've taken the thing a lot further. Everybody knows the whole history of music teaches you that there is no goal. There is no point where you can say, well, this is the best recording ever made, this is the best record ever made, because there's so much stuff that works, and it constantly, none of the as you get further out, none of it negates what was there before. You can't say that Jimi Hendrix negated the work of Robert Johnson, or the Rolling Stones negated the need to listen to Elmore James, because the music doesn't work like that. It constantly shifts and moves on, and it's exciting for that.
For me, your music is spiritualized music is gospel music. Is contemporary gospel, spiritual, music that is uplifting, can be challenging, is revealing. That's what it does to me as a fan. But I'm kind of wondering, like, and I've read that you're not a religious person per se. You don't prescribe to any particular religion. And we don't have to talk personally, but I'm sort of wondering musically what it is that your ultimate sort of goal or expectations of Spiritualized are, if that makes any sense.
I think, as I said before, there is no goal. That as soon as you get something that is so exciting, so emotive, and so electric, that almost becomes your ground. That becomes where you start to aim again. You know, so it's not like there's any real point where you can say this is it. This is as good as it gets. And I think that's what we're after. That kind of those kind of emotions, the feeling you get from music that is absolutely physical. That I know that music is completely subjective, and everybody internalises the lyrics and the music and relates it to their own life. But everybody seems to understand when I say music that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand out, or gives you goosebumps, or absolutely floors you, or you feel in your stomach, you know. And it's going after that each time.